Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
Hello. This is Donna, and I would like to welcome you to podcast number 59. Today, I have a special guest, and she happens to be a great friend of mine, Debra Anderson. Say hello, Debra.
Hello, everyone. So nice to be here. Thank you.
I am glad you are here today, and we will have trouble keeping this in with our time frame because you and I can talk.
That's correct.
This has been a year. Last year and coming into this year has been incredible for everyone to live through and to go through. What has happened in your life?
Well, I appreciate you letting me share today, Donna. It's been an amazing transitional time for my husband and I. Last year, around this time, it happened in October, my husband had been let go from his job, not because he wasn't doing a great job and he was just about to retire in December. We were hoping he could work just a tad longer, but unfortunately, the man that owned the company my husband worked for absconded with $122 million.
Oh my.
Company money and client money. And so the company immediately dismissed him. Even he was the owner and the CEO, but he was arrested for his crime. And the company basically had to go into bankruptcy and then reassembled under a new ownership. This, having said all of that, was the start of a very tumultuous few months for us, in that all of our plans suddenly were thrown into a tizzy. We no longer had the plan that he could work a little longer so that we could be on Social Security and have a little extra income. We no longer had the ability for him to take his time to get into anything else. So we had to go quickly on unemployment and we had to go quickly on Medicare. All these things had to happen. And if anyone knows how difficult that is, these are not things that happen overnight. These are things that take time. And we had to have it all done within a month in order to meet all the timetables. So that was a tumultuous time, to the point where we both were in tears, not knowing what was going to happen to us. We didn't know where our next paychecks were going to come from. We didn't know if we could live on what little bit would come from unemployment. All of those things were in question. So then we go into 2020. And what happens? COVID. Right. And all of that happened. And all I can say is we trusted God. We did a lot of praying. And for some reason, my business started to take off. I started to have I had more clients coming in through unexpected sources, referrals, different things that I totally didn't expect. And the unemployment and then COVID checks were extremely welcome. But what we decided to do is hunker down, pay off all of our debt. And we were able to do that, Donna.
Wow.
We were able to take the money that was provided to us, and we just bit the bullet, didn't do a whole lot of other things, but took care of our debt. So that the only thing we owed was our normal rent, utilities, and car payment. And it brought us through to a wonderful point where now we owe very little. We have a brand new car that because our lease was up, that we owe less money on than we did our old car.
Wow.
And I have new business in, again, more unexpected ways that I did not count on. And my husband is actually relaxed and enjoying his retirement. We're still adjusting and doing some different things, but we feel that in our depths of despair, we had to put it all on the line, and we had to believe that God would care for us, and he did. And he provided for us in ways that there's no way that we could have ever known or anticipated that we could get in this amount of time to the point we are now.
Yes. I remember, you were, I mean, when we use words like depth of despair and loss of job and all that kind of stuff, there's just, to me, those words aren't enough to describe that hopeless feeling and panic. Because one day he has income and the next day he does not.
Right.
And there is no warning, no preparation. There's just this tragedy. And this year or last year, 2020, has been so full of those kind of moments. And I have a feeling that wasn't the only change or transition in your life.
In the way that I view myself and my abilities, I started taking the coaching training that I need to continue with my vocal confidence business. And I found myself with more time to be able to develop some of the abilities that I knew that I needed to take the time to develop, but that I really didn't have time for before. Now I could concentrate on those things. My husband's health has been somewhat in jeopardy. And I think that maybe all of this has helped us to come closer to God in a way that he has demonstrated throughout our lives, the fact that if we depend on him, he will take care of us. It seems like we have to keep learning that lesson, however.
It does.
And I'd like to not have to learn it anymore. It's just a constant awareness that he will take care of us, that he will fulfill his promise. And then I started a new thing because my friend Donna sent me a gratitude journal. And I have to tell you that it's life-changing. And here's why. When you feel in your life that there's nothing left or that you don't know what else to do, if you sit yourself down and you list your blessings of the day, you find out, especially through COVID, I think, the value of some of these little things that in our busyness we take for granted. Families are coming together more. And I know, don't get me wrong, I know that a little family sometimes can go a long way. We sometimes, the forced togetherness can be difficult and detrimental in some cases. So I don't want people to think I'm not aware of that. I really, really am. I'm also aware that we have to be grateful for every little thing. Because it changes your perspective and your attitude as you go about your day. You start to realize that it's just a little thing, but I love when my little squirrels come up on my porch and eat some of the bird seed and visit us and look in the window. And I love the fact that I have the ability to relax more than I've ever been able to. And I am thankful that I don't have to run around quite as busy as I was before. there's a million things and everybody's going to be different.
Yep. And I was planning for a video this morning, and the title of it is do you want to learn how to change your weather? And how in January we often hear complaints, or maybe we do complain about the gray skies.
True.
That seem to be here. And are we letting our external circumstances create our internal weather?
Very good.
And how we can choose, even though there's maybe gray skies, I can choose to have sunshine on the inside, that my external circumstances cannot create, whether I'm happy or not. True. I can create it. I have the power to choose. And I don't think we learn that except when we go through difficulties. Choosing to trust God was a choice for you. It wasn't easy.
No.
It was not easy. And you did behavior, you did affirmations, you did choices to help feed that part of you so that you could believe that God would take care of you. Because when we're all falling apart and then we find ourselves on the floor, which I've done, and not showing what's going to happen to us when we have those moments. You're talking about family. It's like, whatever your family life is like that are listening today, we cherish those special ones, the relationships that are, cherish them even more. We cannot tell people enough how precious they are to us. And to me, that's one of the things that stood out from last year, is to tell the people that you love them.
Yes.
That they mean something to you, that a phone call, a card, a video chat, whatever it is, that we find a way to communicate and transition with a change that is occurring so that we can create our own weather, if you will.
You know, it's interesting. You brought up, and this is the profession I'm in, about talking about your voice. And, you know, there's studies that are being done, and I think it's becoming even more prevalent during COVID. The sound of one's voice is therapeutic for people. If you haven't talked to someone in a long time, take the time, and I realize even the courage, to pick up the phone and call someone. Now, I know that we can text. I know all of the technology is there, but the problem is that we've allowed that to get in the way of real communication, yes, which is actually the sound of one's voice. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing to heal, to bring back that sound of the voice. If you've been estranged from a parent, or if you've been estranged from a sibling, these are times when it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter anymore. And you know what the hardest part is that we would rather, I think this is human nature, we would rather blame somebody else for why we're acting the way we are. Well, it's not my fault. They did this, they did that, they said this, they said that. And I'm here to tell you that no one is responsible for your behavior and the changes that need to take place except for you.
Yes.
I have found in my life there isn't one person that could change to make me happy. The only person that had to change, and it's hard because we say, well, why do I have to be the one to change all the time? How come I always have to make the concession? Because you need to take that step to forgive them and maybe even yourself. You know, maybe you're wrong. I know that's hard to accept sometimes, but maybe we're wrong. And I do think harboring ill will is wrong.
Yeah. There's something extremely beneficial that we don't realize when we give first, when we show kindness, we reap in ways we would never imagine.
Absolutely.
And including forgiving ourselves for areas we've messed up. But nobody can make me angry. I choose to be.
True.
And nobody can make me happy. I have to choose to be. I may get hurt, which causes anger, but I can choose what I do with that hurt. And the sooner I forgive, the sooner I get back to sunshine. And
Well, I'm sorry, Donna.
okay.
I was going to say there's an awful lot of times in my life where I have been through different job situations and I have been hurt because either I was passed over, when we were trying to find jobs.
Yep.
I have done pretty much every kind of job you can think of for many, many years. And I'm fairly skilled, but nobody wanted me at 60 plus years of age. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn how to take the skills that I had worked on in my younger years and maybe redevelop them so that now I am my own boss and I have my own business and I love, not just like, I love what I do.
What do you do for people who don't know?
I call myself the vocal confidence coach. And the reason I call myself that is I take my years and years of vocal teaching experience and I combine that with many years of experience in different types of jobs, especially mostly public relation type jobs, sales type jobs, where I have learned some of the skills and techniques that allow people to build their confidence. You have to have confidence in order to communicate well, and especially to communicate a message or a business. And I have found that there is such a need for this now as people are trying to represent themselves in networking situations. Many entrepreneurs are very good at putting their business together, but terrible at communicating what it is that they do. And I am here to help people develop that confidence and know that they have the skills and the ability to do what they do, but I will help build them up to help them communicate their message effectively and impactfully.
Yes. I've experienced your coaching and it is I did not understand it when we began, but through that has made such an impact in the way that I articulate and and I've still got a few words that you're telling me I'm hanging up on, that I'm still getting stuck on. But, we need that to be able to be the best me I can be is learning how to. So when the way that we speak communicates.
Correct.
More than my face and my features, or the way that I'm, smiling or not smiling, my voice communicates. And so learning how to do that better, especially with Zoom, and then don't get me started on mask.
I know
how hard it is to communicate, how many times I say, to people because I can't understand them with the mask. So it creates a whole lot of things. So if you're listening and you want to up-level your communication, you want to we're at the beginning of another powerful year, and we can choose our weather, and we can choose to upgrade and up-level ourselves so that we can communicate our message the most powerful way that we can, so that we're understood and also received. Correct. In what we're communicating as well. So I'm going to put Debra's link with this podcast where she can be contacted because vocal confidence is powerful. It goes right along with vibrant living and helping you live to your fullest potential. So together we have a great friendship and a harmonious two businesses going on. Any last thoughts or words of wisdom that you would like to share with our listeners?
I don't know that I have words of wisdom.
Well, I do, so don't start that way.
I have passion about what I do. I have passion about gratefulness and thankfulness, despite the world situation. I don't believe, I believe I should exist and be instrumental in this world, but I believe in God, and I am not of this world. I believe that it is my responsibility to live my life in a way that reflects the glory of God. And I'm learning this every single day. It's an ongoing process, but I have truly, maybe age has something to do with it, Donna, I don't know, but I truly can say that having been through so many different things, I'm so thankful for the work God has done in my life.
Yep. Awesome. And when you think about that person who's stuck back as the puddle on the floor, and someone listening today is there, and it sounds rote, if you will, just trust God. Sometimes, that just sounds so hard when we're in the middle of it all. And so speaking to that woman that feels like everything's falling apart, what would you say to her?
I would say this. I understand that totally. Donna knows me well enough to know that I went through that. And you know what? We live our life in seasons. So we have different times where things are difficult, things are better, things are difficult. I would never, ever reduce somebody to the triteness of, well, just trust God, ever. Because I know how difficult it was for me. And I didn't want to. I was mad. Yep. I was upset and angry because this was something that someone else did that affected our lives greatly. And we had no control over it.
Right.
The only thing we had control over, and I can tell you, my husband and I would be in tears. The only thing we had control over was how we were going to respond to this situation. And I can tell you that there were some days that we just covered up our heads and wept and slept because we couldn't face what we were facing. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't know what that's like and how difficult that is. But fortunately, we have an intercessory God. We have the ability to realize that He understands what we're going through, and He will meet our needs even when we can't express to Him what we need.
Yep. I love what you said is that one of the key takeaways that I'm taking from what you just said is I get to choose how I respond. Mm-hmm. Because in 2020, all control seemed to be taken away from us. I couldn't even go out to eat if I wanted.
That's correct.
I couldn't even go to the gym if I wanted. Not that I wanted to, but
I was going to say, since when, Donna?
Well, I work out at home. I don't.
I know.
But I said I didn't want to go out to eat today, but now that you told me I can't, I want to. And so, all of that control felt like we'd lost control. And so that can cause fear and hopelessness. And the only thing I can choose is how I'm going to respond. And so if you're listening today and you need some support in that, I am here. I will love to have a conversation with you. The link will also be with this podcast for you to schedule an appointment with me, because I guarantee a conversation with me will help you adjust and get a new focus and bring encouragement and inspiration to your life.
And I'm going to interrupt you, Donna, because I'm going to tell your listeners that I have experienced that too. So Donna and I are friends, but we've experienced each other's professionalism. And Donna will ask questions in a way that I never even thought of. So she helps your perspective change by simply asking a question that is phrased differently than where we're at. So she is wonderful at what she does, and she's a kind, lovely person. So you're doing yourself a favor by tuning into Donna and giving her a call if you need some help with anything.
Thank you, Deb. All right, well, that wraps up for today. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Please share and subscribe and leave reviews for this podcast. And until next time, as always, this is Donna saying live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashton or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.